Adobe Analytics forecast online sales in November and December to rise just 2.5%. That's the slowest rate since 2015. And also it compares to 8.6% just a year ago. Where are we headed? Christine Short is the VP of Research for Wall Street Horizon. Christine, nice to see you. So I guess tomorrow's kind of like Black Friday on a Tuesday in early October. It's a little confusing. How much does this change everything, these October sales, in terms of traditional holiday sales?
Well, we've been seeing this for a few years, right? Like the Black Friday, the holiday sales keep getting moved earlier and earlier. And that's because consumers are demanding it. They want to spread out their shopping over a longer period of time. It used to be the day after Thanksgiving through Cyber Mondays. You had about 5 days of deals. Now you've got a couple months of deals. So I think we're responding to consumer demand. I think it's also really smart for a lot of these retailers. Ali mentioned it's not just Amazon, but it's Target, Walmart. You've got some of the department stores, Macy's, Kohl's, Bed Bath & Beyond. They're all doing this because what research and what surveys have shown is that consumers are getting a little more anxious about inflation. They feel okay about their job position. Unemployment's still very historically low. But as the year goes on, it's something consumers are looking at. So why not get your holiday shopping out of the way now? What does it mean for shopping later? I think it just spreads out a little more. You might actually have a chance to get more money out of consumers. But I think by front loading it, it's a very smart thing. And I think there's always got your late shoppers. So there will still be people shopping throughout the rest of the year, but I think it's smart to start it earlier this year.
Yeah, you're talking about me and Shauna Smith. I'm usually December 23rd-ish. I'm still waking up to the pumpkin spice latte, which was like 2 months ago. Axios has a story today saying the traditional holiday shopping season is dead. Is that true?
I don't know about that. Some people really like to do it just as an activity with their family, to go in person the day after Thanksgiving. But yeah, it's certainly taking a big hit here, right? And like I said, this has been a trend that's been ongoing the last few years. But as far as the, shopping online is still, continuing to pick up in popularity, it doesn't mean people aren't going to be spending, right? National Retail Federation with their holiday forecast and survey showed that, 2/3 of people are still going to spend on gifts, on celebrations this year. They feel like they haven't been able to do as much the last couple of years because of COVID restrictions. So whether it means, taking out of savings or redirecting money that would otherwise go somewhere else, or even going into credit card debt, they will be spending money this holiday season now that we're kind of getting back to normal.
The story of this retail year has been an inventory issue, too much of it. Is that still the case? And is there anyone that got it right?
Yeah, we went into this saying, the bigger sophisticated retailers like your Target, like your Walmart, they set up for last holiday season. We thought they were going to get it right. They weren't new to this. Clearly they didn't. There was loads of inventory on the shelves for many of those big retailers. I think we've had over a year now to get it right. So I think retailers heading into this holiday season are certainly in a better position. So that's not as much of a concern this year. And so I think that's one thing we don't necessarily have to worry about. Costs are still very high, right? So We're talking a little about Amazon here. Despite the fact that this is probably going to be a great Prime event, the costs over the last few quarters have been eating into those revenues. So that's something we're going to look out for as well.
Is this a positive story, though? Will it be for the holiday season? This bulk in inventory should result in discounts, should be a deflationary and even a positive Fed story, although not a great earnings story.
Yeah, like Ali said, it's anything to push the inventory and to give deep discounts. So it is a complex situation where you've got higher costs. Inflation is creating higher costs for everything, right? But the consumer really wants value right now. So you have to be offering discounts. And some of the ones that we've seen already as advertised from Target, from Amazon, we're talking 50 to 80% off of some of the most popular items. So they're actually willing to take a hit in some ways just to get to the consumer who really is looking for the deepest discounts possible right now. So promotions are going to be huge in pushing out some of that extra inventory.
It's not a great investor story, but it is a good consumer story. I want to come full circle back to the story we started with, where online sales rising just 2.5%, but the brick and mortar story is the real fascinating one. More stores opened in 21 then closed for the first time since 1995, according to Morgan Stanley. What is the deal with brick and mortar making a comeback?
I think people missed that. They missed the brick and mortar. We've seen, like you said, e-commerce sales have come down since the peak of COVID, where they were really at their highest. So I think you're going to see more of a blend this year. Whereas the story the last 10 years for holiday shopping has been that e-commerce is continuing to pick up. But I think, again, it's more of an activity. It's something to do to gather with friends, with family. And so people like going out there. They like looking at the items they're buying. And honestly, retailers like that too, because there's less things getting returned. And that's what we're seeing. A third of things bought online end up getting returned because you really haven't had a chance to see and experience it. So if they can get you to buy in brick and mortar, retailers are going to be pretty happy about that.
Reports of brick and mortar's death greatly exaggerated. Wall Street Horizon VP of Research, Christine Short, good to see you. Thanks.